He's an old washed quarterback. He's an old fart, man. He's not a top 15 quarterback. He needs a perfect system to succeed.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what happens when you're 41.
I want to make a preface, okay? If Jordan Haslip is watching this, um, I still think the Steelers are going to do bad, and I still think the Steelers suck. It's just not going to be because of Aaron Rodgers. Okay? So, old fart, all these childish names. See, when I go shot for shot, I come with facts.
I'm ready for facts.
I don't
I'm
come
ready.
I don't come and play kitty league with these little jabs. I don't do that, okay? I leave that to you and the other
I'm
internet
ready.
dweebs
I'm
that
ready
are
for
going to be
I'm
below
ready
in
for
the
your
comments,
stats and your
okay?
facts.
So, PFF, okay? Pro Football Focus, okay? Just in case you didn't know what that was, okay? Had Aaron Rodgers ranked in the top 5 for lowest times to throw, and despite this, still put up MVP stats.
MVP
Mm,
stats. So he
mm.
dunked on bottom feeding teams to end the season and cherry picked his stats. So they look pretty good, better than what they were. What I saw was a quarterback that threw away games early in the season when they mattered. Looked like he couldn't connect with any of his receivers, a top 15 receiver in the league. So it's kind of interesting. He looked old
Okay.
and slow, hesitant on his reads, couldn't make off-platform throws. And I'll give you this. There were points I watched Aaron Rodgers last year, and I thought, wow, that was a really nice throw. He looks like his old self. But he can't do it consistently anymore. He's almost completely ineffective when there's pressure in his face, when there's people at his feet, and he looked uncomfortable. Deshaun, we have to be real with ourselves. He's not a top 15 guy in the league. He needs a perfect situation to succeed. And so did Brady when he was 45 years old. And he had that. But Aaron Rodgers needs that right now, and he doesn't have that in Pittsburgh.
So
Look,
my question for you, okay, and like
sure.
you might not know it because like again, like you are super young. 2019 was Tom Brady washed. I'll answer the question for you. Yes, Tom Brady was washed, okay? Sure. Or was he just in a bad situation? He was in a bad situation. The Patriots had limited options, bad offensive line play, and no real help around him on the defensive side of the ball. Very similar to what happened with the Jets. A Jets defense that allowed 25 points per game, might I add. Yet everyone is always saying how great of a defense they have, okay? I don't do hype, okay? I do production, and they didn't produce, okay? So, among all quarterbacks in the NFL, he ranked second in EPA per dropback, okay? Slightly ahead of this guy, Patrick Mahomes, if like you've heard of him, okay? He also had fewer interceptions than Patrick Mahomes as well. I think that Patrick Mahomes guy is often regarded as the best quarterback in the league. So, just throwing that out there, okay? His completion over expectation, okay? So these are throws that are expected to not be completed, okay? All right? For high difficulty throws exceeded expectations. And he finished top 13 in explosive plays from quarterbacks. That is well above league average, okay? So for this old, washed up quarterback, I need you to explain to me why he is finishing top 13 in explosive plays. Throwing to guys for half the season like Garrett Wilson, a fraud of a wide receiver one, and Alan Lazard. Oh, and Tyler Conklin, sorry.
Are we for real? Are you serious? You know why he has these explosive plays and these magnificent stats? It's because he dunked on bottom feeding teams to end the season and during the year. But when the lights were actually on, he threw interceptions to lose games. He threw away games.
How many interceptions did he throw? He only threw
If
11.
No, I'm saying if you look at the timing of the interceptions early on in the season, he threw away two games early on in the season.
So
And when you watch him play,
yeah,
he missed Garrett Wilson on a whole ton of throws. We're not even going to go there, though. He missed Garrett Wilson on a whole ton of throws. He had to bring Devontae Adams in because he needed to feel comfortable. He needed his comfort back because he's not a dynamic quarterback anymore. He's been in the league for over 2 decades.
Yep.
He's not a dynamic quarterback. He needs comfort. That's why he brought Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams, because he can't work with new talent. It's not going to be any better in Pittsburgh. So watch that to be a collapse of a season. And that's not just his fault. I think Pittsburgh's, an average organization as per usual. But listen, we cannot say Aaron Rodgers is a top 15 quarterback. He just doesn't have it in him anymore. When you watch the play, if the pocket's completely clean and you give him a good read, okay, yeah, he can make the throw. Pretty talented. But besides that, he's not there anymore. He can't scramble outside the pocket. He's ineffective. He can't throw off platform.
Your entire argument is that you are speaking from an emotion-based.
It's not.
Place.
It's not. I watched the games last year. See, but I went through the film.
I want you to present me with some facts.
They are facts. Because
here,
and watch the games,
here's some more. Here's some more facts for you. Okay.
Sure.
Since we want to talk about interceptions, on interceptable passes. Okay. So these are passes that hit a defender in the hands that should have been interceptions. It's a drop. Whatever. Okay. He threw 12 of those. Okay. Do you know how many interceptions he had? 11. So even if they did go and catch that one ball that was dropped, he would only have 12. To me, that lets me know that A-Rod, okay, Aaron Rodgers, can still thread a needle, still pick defenses apart, and he's doing that with the dumpster fire of an organization like the New York Jets.
With two top 15 receivers.
So what that tells me, okay, because Aaron Rodgers seems to be a guy that keeps a chip on his shoulder. The year after they drafted Jordan Love in Green Bay, he went out and won an MVP. Okay, I'm sure that he is hearing the naysayers. He is hearing that he is washed and that he should be out of the league. I expect a bounce back season from him, and with the new addition of DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh, I bet you anything you want that Aaron Rodgers will finish top 10 in all major.
What does DK provide that Garrett Wilson doesn't? Garrett Wilson's a better receiver than DK.
They're in the same.
He doesn't have the weapons.
They're in the same boat. They're in the same boat.
Not in the same boat. Garrett Wilson clears DK Metcalf, but that's another debate. We are talking about Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun. Okay.
Yes.
Last season, 250 yards he threw 7 times. 4 of those times came in the last 5 games of the season. All he did last year was throw for 300 yards against teams that were already phased out of the playoffs, that were tanking for draft picks, including the Jets, because under his lead, they couldn't do anything. I am telling you. And the reason he had so many, or maybe so few interceptable throws is because all he would do is dump it off to the running back because he couldn't make a read last year. He wasn't comfortable with the offense. He didn't understand it. And he would throw it, and he would throw it out of bounds.
I'm gonna poke a hole right through your entire theory right there that he's just a dunker. Okay, that he just throws, hits a check down. He was top 10 in deep ball percentage. Okay, so this whole idea that he's just playing it safe just to make sure that he has a high QBR, which was top 20 in the league. Just let you know, okay? He wasn't just doing that by just playing it safe, okay? Now, am I arguing that Aaron Rodgers is the Aaron Rodgers of old? No, I'm not saying that. I think Aaron Rodgers has obviously taken a step back, but
huge.
Aaron Rodgers has a quote where he says, "A down year for me is a career year for most guys." And we've seen it this year because his down year this past year
is the same as Josh Allen.
Was 28-11.
Yes.
And it was the same as Josh Allen. And it was a career
and Josh Allen had nobody
for that
to throw
fraud
to.
in Buffalo.
Josh Allen was throwing to
that
a broken
fraud
Amari
in
Cooper.
Buffalo.
Amari Cooper.
That fraud.
He had no weapons. He had to do it all himself. Scored 10+ touchdowns running the ball. What do you want me to say? He had no offense. He had an offensive line, and that's about it. The whole offense, matter of fact, the whole team was put on his back. But guess what, Deshaun? Yeah. You know what's interesting to me? Here's the interesting part to me is that the Buffalo defense wasn't really that good this year either. If you watch them play, they weren't really that good. When you break it down, which team made the playoffs, made an AFC conference championship game, and which team floated through the regular season with a losing record all year long and just happened to run into a few really terrible teams at the end of the year and post some good stats? The New York Jets. The New York Jets, because Aaron Rodgers can't do it for a team anymore.
I get it. You're comparing a prime Josh Allen
You compared them.
So if you want to say, who had a bigger impact on winning? Yes. The 27-year-old did more than the 42-year-old, okay? I want to throw some more stats at you, okay? Because again, like I said, I'm the stat man,
Stats
okay?
guy.
Yeah, that's what I do, okay? Nearly 60% completion percentage against man coverage, okay? So, when he had Garrett Wilson, right, that just couldn't get any separation, okay? When there's a guy on Garrett Wilson's hip, okay? Aaron Rodgers is the one that is feeding it in there, threading needles, and fitting it in tight spaces, okay? 60%? Johnny, 42-year-olds shouldn't be doing that. There are many 25 guys half his age that can't do that.
No.
Okay?
He needs Deshaun, he needs a perfect pocket. He needs great receivers to succeed.
He doesn't
That's
need a
the bottom
perfect
line.
pocket.
He does. He crumbles under pressure. The second he got pressured last year, he couldn't do it.
He was top 7 in sacks, in being sacked, okay?
That's great. The offensive line wasn't good, but that's what I'm saying.
That will create hesitancy for any quarterback in football at any level.
But a guy that's truly elite that can still do it at a top level would be able to combat that. Would he not?
If you are a franchise and you are expecting a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers to be as mobile as he was 10, 15 years ago, you're stupid. If you're a fan expecting Aaron Rodgers to still be as mobile, especially after tearing his Achilles, you're stupid, okay? Because he is still showing that he is not just a capable passer. He is not just an above average passer. When he has time in the pocket, he is able to thread the needle. He's able to slice defenses. He is able to dissect teams, and he's done it. Time and time again last year.
So he needs a top 5 offensive line.
No, he just needs an offensive line that's not going to have him getting sacked the 7th most in the league.
But here's the thing.
He needs an average offensive line.
No football team will ever be perfect. Okay, no football team. There's going to be holes all over the place for teams.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing is if we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers as a top 15 quarterback, I don't even know if you would consider him a top 15 quarterback. Would you?
I have him probably in that 17 range.
What are we even discussing then? What are we discussing? He's replaceable. He's a replaceable guy.
I
think he's washed. I think he might sneak into the top 20.
The stats don't support you, buddy. The stats don't support you.
I think he's washed. The stats are lying. If you watch the games,
is this a lie?
All he did was dunk on teams at the end of the year that were trash. They were trash.
Okay.
And he showed up at the end of the season all nice and relaxed with all of his boys there, firing shots out against terrible defenses. For sure, man. I'd go for 300 against that Dolphins defense.
Johnny, I have a question for you, brother. Okay? Am I allowed to ask my question?
For sure.
Okay. Were the Patriots a bad team last year?
I would say it depends what you're looking at, but I would say yes. I would say yes.
I would say
yes.
You're trying to lie. Were they a bad team? Yes. Okay. Would you consider that a team that is worth dunking on because they're a bad team?
Well, again, it depends what you're looking at.
I'm asking
because if you're talking about their defense,
is that a bottom feeding team?
But I would say yes, they were a bottom feeding team last year. Sure, they were not a good team.
Why didn't Joe Burrow dunk all over them with Jamar Chase and T Higgins?
First of all, we're going into a whole different debate. This is week one. This is who the Bengals are to start every single season.
You're not being consistent with your arguments, okay? At the end of the day, Johnny, these are professional football players that get paid. That get paid.
If Josh Allen did what Aaron Rodgers did at the end of the season, you would scrutinize him till the end of time. If he went to Miami,
because again, Johnny,
threw for 330 yards,
Johnny,
but again, because he's a 27-year-old.
Exactly, you have to use context. Use context. Okay?
So now his age doesn't matter. Now throw his age out. Throw his age out the window. We have to pay attention to. He's 42 years old, so we can only judge him as a 42-year-old. Yes. I'm judging him as a football player, just as you were judging receivers, Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson. I'm judging Aaron Rodgers with every other quarterback in the league, and he's not top 20. He's not.
Okay, and
he's replaceable.
Okay.
And he can win a Super Bowl.
Well, he's already won one. He's done something that Josh Allen.
He can't win a Super Bowl anymore.
He can't win another one. He can't win another one.
He
See,
can't win
it's like
another
it's
Super
like
Bowl right
ingrained
now.
in your brain. It's ingrained in your brain to say he can't win a Super Bowl just in general because you're a Bills fan and you'll never win a Super Bowl. But anyways, Aaron
Now we're
Rodgers,
doing
Aaron
childish
Rodgers
arguments. Now these
has
are
the
childish arguments.
has the has the has the ninth highest passer rating again versus man coverage. Okay, so again, lets you know he threatens Indigo. But this is the
He
last
was
stat that I
playing. He
want
was
to drop
playing with
off to you. Okay, this
two
is
top 15
this is
receivers last year.
this
I'd hope
is
so.
see, and your brain won't even let you lie. See, top 20, you said. See, stop trying to lie. Stop. See, Johnny, you're cracking. The mask is falling. You're even realizing, Garrett Wilson's really not that guy. You remember our conversation that we had about George Pickens? This is happening. But unfortunately for you, this is happening live. It's happening with all the people to see, okay? The mask has fell. I've seen it. But this is the last stat that I want to show you, okay? Okay? 27 is the lucky number, okay? Aaron Rodgers had 27 dropped passes last year. Okay? Which ranks second in the league. So, with those top 20, top 15 receivers that you keep on talking about, right? Explain to me why they are dropping the ball so much.
Are you talking about the top 15 receivers that drop passes, or are we talking about Breece Hall and Braylon Allen who drop screen passes
I'm
out the
talking
backfield?
no, I'm talking about
Who
the
had the
entire
drops?
team. The entire
The
team.
entire team.
I'm
Alan
talking about the
Lazard?
entire team. I'm talking about the entire team. So
Alan Lazard? So if the
so
Bengals had 30 drops and I just went and said, why is Jamar Chase dropping 30 balls?
no,
Is that a valid argument?
are they not accounted for in this?
For sure. But
Thank you.
who's to say that they have the majority of those drop passes? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it wasn't.
My question is that
All I'm going to say,
okay. Here's my closing statement, okay?
for
Here's
sure.
my
And
closing statement,
me too.
and then I'll give you the floor because this is your show, even though I dominate you every time
For sure.
that I've had you on.
Sure.
And there's a reason why this guy, Johnny, has not had me on in a while because I bring the most views to his show, and he did not want to get overshadowed because it would be called the Shawn show, not the JV show. So that's why I've been away for a while, okay, fans? But I'm back now. Now for my closing remarks, okay? Teams are expecting a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers that has come off an Achilles tear. Having a team like the New York Jets, where the offensive line play is abysmal, the supporting cast as a whole, running backs, receivers, are dropping the ball 27 times, ranking second in the league. A running back that is supposed to be top 5, not cracking 1,000 yards, not even cracking 900. They are expecting Aaron Rodgers at 42 years old to overcome that. That speaks to a testament to how good of a football player, how good of a quarterback Aaron Rodgers is. I can't speak to the character of the man because at the end of the day, I don't know him. But people get it so confused because they don't like Aaron Rodgers, the person, that they allow themselves to believe the propaganda that Aaron Rodgers is washed. And let me tell the fans that Aaron Rodgers is far from washed. And I wouldn't be surprised if this 2025 season is not a revenge tour.
First of all, and I'd like to compliment the point that we are not touching on the person, Aaron Rodgers. We have not touched on it. We're not going to go into it. We're not in the locker room. But I'd like to make it known that is not bleeding into my opinions on Aaron Rodgers. Matter of fact, I don't care for the personality right now. I'm looking solely at the player, and what I saw was a quarterback that's had 2 decades of success in Green Bay, and the second he arrived somewhere new, somewhere foreign, it just didn't work out. It didn't. And I've seen him take multiple hits and multiple steps backward. And I was excited for this last season and excited for his first season in New York. But I fear that his age, the injuries have slowed him down. And last year they had to bring Devontae Adams in for Rodgers to have a security blanket because he couldn't make it work with the weapons around him. And I view Garrett Wilson as a top 12 guy. So I find it hard to believe that Aaron Rodgers couldn't do that at a high level. And I think that it's not shocking that the Jets won how many games last year? 4. And only at the end of the season when they played games that were irrelevant. And I get it, against NFL teams, but you would make the same argument if Joe Burrow was out here dunking on, I don't know, the Raiders last year. I find it remarkable that those numbers are now inflating the real season that he had, because he didn't start hot. And after that, it was down until around week 14, which is great. We love week 14 stats. That's it.